Hi everybody, this is Enrique Otarola from the Bay Area of the city of San Francisco with the Golden Gate Bridge in the back. And tonight we have our special friend, our friend Lira Louise. She's from Chicago. She's an architect and she speaks about social media and the importance of organic architecture and sustainability, the sustainability concept. So let's welcome our friend Lira Louise.
Hello, Enrique, and hello to your guests as well. And it's great to see you again.
Yeah.
And this time in the green city of San Francisco.
Exactly. Last time that we seen each other was in the city of Las Vegas a few months ago. So yes, I'm excited. This nice, in this nice environment, nice place.
And then there's a nice breeze coming in. You know?
Yes, and I feel like it's nice. It's magical. It's like soothing.
And it's, being in San Francisco is a great like example of sustainability and being green. I mean, they have a lot of open parks that they preserve here, and so like even the way they build stuff, it's very green, it's very sustainable.
Yes, like I've been driving around lately, like last year and this year in this city, and yes, it's pretty green and pretty. It is amazing how they came with this. They use all these resources and they made it really green, really pretty much sustainable. The concept of sustainable, correct me if I'm wrong, is to use the materials and all the resources that are in the surroundings, right, without being toxic or introducing foreign materials, right?
Well, in addition to that, it's really all about making sure that we meet our current needs, and that making sure that there's enough left for the future of your children's children or the people's children's children. And so it's also about being sympathetic to the environment.
Right, right. Yeah, I was talking to a friend lately, is an architect, and I was telling her that pretty much architects are more organic, more green, and we civil engineers, I have a background civil engineer, that we are more toxic. And why? Because we just pretty much in general we are like more focused on completing the project and with, I don't know, whatever it takes. I don't know. It's probably totally wrong, but
I think civil engineers play a very important role as far as sustainability. For example, in LEED certification by the U.S. Green Building Council, there's a lot of opportunities to get LEED credits as far as site work, and that's very critical for civil engineers.
right.
And it's making sure that you don't develop sites that are considered parklands, or you preserve those lands, those open spaces. You don't build on them, and essentially also it goes or it relates to other elements like conserving water.
Right, right. Yeah, I took these classes and I took this construction management program like a couple of years ago in UCLA, and yeah, and the lead class and the sustainability. I remember all this concept about managing the resources and make them available for the future generations, and not to consume them, and not to poison the soil or the environment, to make it last longer, not to toxic the environment, and not to contaminate the buildings with foreign materials. That is better to just make everything a circle, our green circle, as sustainable and available for future generations.
And also, making sure that the waste is lessened, the waste that is being produced. Because,
Taken care of.
yes, as a result of building and also developing the sites.
Right. Could you tell me who, where all this concept of green architecture and green construction came from? Tell us a little bit the story about that.
Well, for me as an architect, I first learned about being sustainable and about being green by living at Taliesin, which is Frank Lloyd Wright's laboratory. See, Frank Lloyd Wright pioneered the concept of organic architecture, and this is architecture that sympathizes with the environment. So even way back, imagine this, 1932, when he established Taliesin, he already know about, about nature, about preserving it, and that there are ways to build within, the concept of organic architecture, being respectful of the environment. They just called it organic architecture at that time. So in today's standards, we call it sustainability or being sustainable. But if you look at it, the principles are the same, very similar.
Right, right. I remember taking these classes on LEED accreditation and sustainability. I didn't complete quite the LEED program, but I remember that the concept of leaving the materials clean, not contaminating the soil, and make it available for the future.
Yeah, and also preserving the topsoil, because the topsoil is very critical in vegetation, and also making sure that there's no erosion happening in a property, because that creates pollution, dust pollution. So it's all like a domino effect. So what we do as an architect or as a civil engineer, we have to realize that it affects other aspects. We may not realize it, but it actually does.
Lira, I'm coming from your experience that you have traveled all over the world, speaking and working everywhere. Where do you think they have more, not conscious, but where they have developed more this concept of green architecture and sustainability? Will it be like America? Will it be Europe? Will it be Asia?
Well, you'll be surprised, not in terms of architecture, but in terms of a country and their lifestyle. I would say Costa Rica.
Oh.
Yeah, Costa Rica is one of the most green and sustainable countries.
Wow. I'm surprised. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they preserve their oceans, their forests, their open spaces. They're very respectful. So if you go there, I haven't been there, although, South America, would you believe it? I wouldn't even say like European or not even like North America. And it has also been documented in a lot of magazines, travel magazines, that Costa Rica is one of the most sustainable places.
Oh, wow. I haven't been exposed on green construction as much as you and other people have, but I always thought that I always thought that the country that will be like more advanced, that will be America, but I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing too is concerning about the architecture, engineering, construction industries. I would imagine, now, it's starting to become like a trend. Prior to it, it's not even mainstream, but a lot of people now flaunt the term green or the term sustainability just for marketing purposes.
I see that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it shouldn't be that way, that if you're building, if you're doing architecture or designing, it should be integrated in the design.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, okay, let's go to a little to a little break here, and we'll be right back with our really good friend Lira Luis. Hello and welcome back. This is Enrique Otarola and friends. So we are back from the Bay Area, the city of San Francisco. We are good friend Lira Luis, and we are talking about sustainability, which is a concept that not only applies to construction or architecture or any career specifically, but it applies to everything. Like we were speaking just with Lira about that. For example, I've seen some accounting companies that they don't send anymore to their clients statements or their accounts by mail, but they send PDF files by email. Or there are some banks that ask you the same thing to change to paperless statements, which is less harm to the environment. And also when you throw your garbage, when you separate paper, plastic, when you take care of the water, when you don't waste much water, that also helps the environment, and it helps a lot, believe it or not.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be something really grand, or you have to be part of a big lead project to do your part in becoming sustainable. You could really start in as simple as maybe carpooling, taking public transportation, and probably even, like you said, a lot of the offices are leaning towards a paperless office. If you don't have to print it, just keep the copy as PDFs. And even like, you mentioned banks earlier, even banks now, when you're making deposits, you could just take a photo of it and not even, write or use a deposit slip.
Exactly, that helps a lot. And myself and our company, ORM Accounting Taxation Representation LLC, we are not doing paper anymore. We have everything. We store everything with PDF files. And when one of our clients requests that, we just send an email. And on the last resource, we issue a paper, but we try to be as friendly environment. And also, believe it or not, it helps to save costs in paper, ink, and all that. So it works both ways. So
yeah, and overall, it's like doing your part. You have to really believe in it, and then apply it to your lifestyle. And see, the thing is, we have to think that our actions actually affect everybody, like your neighbors.
Others,
and if we
yes.
respect that thinking, then we would be inspired to do our part for the environment.
Right. That's excellent. All right, everybody, and thank you, Lira, for sharing this with us and with
You're
everybody
welcome.
all over the world. And again, from the Bay Area, with our really good friend Lira Ruiz, helping us to understand more the concept of sustainability and green and be friendly to the environment. And again, from the Bay Area, from the city of San Francisco, with the Golden Gate Bridge in the back. Those little lights that you see is the Golden Gate Bridge. This magical
City and
cold
green
and
city.
green city. So thank you, everybody, and good night, good morning, good anything from wherever you guys are in the world.